What if intelligence, memory, and personality were not where we think they are? This is the real story of a man who lived a normal life with most of his brain missing. He had a job, a family, and a normal IQ. Doctors only discovered the truth by accident. For decades, we believed the brain defines who we are. Damage the brain and intelligence disappears. Lose the brain and life ends. But in the early 2000s, a hospital scan in France challenged everything science believed. The man was a French civil servant in his 40s. He lived a normal life. He was married, had children, and worked a stable government job. No one around him suspected anything unusual. He went to the hospital for a minor leg problem. Doctors ordered a routine brain scan. They were not prepared for what they saw. Nearly 90% of the space inside his skull was filled with fluid. The brain tissue was compressed into a thin layer around the skull. It was not destroyed, but slowly pushed aside over many years. This condition is known as severe hydrocephalus. Despite this, the man could speak normally. He could reason. By medical standards, this should have been impossible. He could live independently. This discovery terrified scientists, because textbooks say that damage like this should cause severe disability. Yet this man functioned like an average adult. So doctors asked a dangerous question: how much brain do we actually need? The answer lies in how the brain adapts. This did not happen suddenly. The compression started in childhood and progressed slowly over decades. That gave the brain time to reorganize itself. The human brain is plastic. It rewires, it reallocates functions. It prioritizes survival over structure. In this case, function mattered more than size. This single case forced scientists to rethink many beliefs. Intelligence is not equal to brain size. Consciousness is not located in one single area. The brain is far more resilient than we imagine. The case was documented and published in respected medical journals. It is studied, not dismissed. It helps explain why some people recover after strokes, and why early brain injuries do not always limit intelligence. This man did not break science. He revealed its limits. Your brain is not a fixed machine. It is a system that adapts to survive, and that leads to one uncomfortable thought. If the brain can adapt this much, what else do we misunderstand about intelligence, identity, and human potential? If intelligence is not about how much brain you have. But this case doesn't end here, because understanding how this was possible changes what we think about intelligence itself. For most of our lives, we are taught a very simple idea. The brain is the control center. Damage it, and everything falls apart. That belief feels obvious, it feels logical, and for most cases, it is true. But science becomes uncomfortable when one exception breaks all the rules. This is where this story becomes disturbing, not because it is scary, but because it forces us to admit how little we actually understand. The man at the center of this case was not extraordinary. That is what makes it extraordinary. He was not a prodigy. He was not disabled. He was not studied because he was special. He lived a normal life, unnoticed. And that is why this case shocked scientists more than almost any dramatic injury ever recorded. When doctors looked at his brain scan, they expected to find an explanation for disability. Instead, they found a contradiction. Almost the entire space inside his skull was filled with fluid. The brain itself had been compressed into a thin layer along the skull wall. According to everything medicine teaches, this should not work, and yet it did. So the first question scientists asked was not, how is this possible? It was something more unsettling. How many assumptions are we wrong about? The answer lies in something we rarely talk about clearly: time. This did not happen in a moment. There was no accident. There was no sudden loss. The change began slowly when the man was a child. Year by year, the pressure increased. Millimeter by millimeter, the brain adapted. This slow process gave the brain something powerful: time to reorganize. The human brain is not fixed at birth. It is constantly rewriting itself. When one area weakens, another can compensate. When structure is lost slowly, function can survive. This is not science fiction. It is biology. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, but the word often hides how extreme the effect can be. If the same damage had happened suddenly, the result would have been catastrophic. But because it happened gradually, the brain found another way. This is why this case matters beyond curiosity. It explains why some stroke patients regain abilities years later. It explains why children with early brain injuries can still develop normal intelligence. It explains why recovery is sometimes possible even when logic says it shouldn't be. The brain is not designed to be perfect. It is designed to survive. It does not care about symmetry. It does not care about textbook diagrams. It cares about function. that forces us to confront another uncomfortable idea. If intelligence were simply about brain size, this man should not exist. If consciousness lived in one single region, this story should be impossible. Yet here it is documented, studied, and real. This does not mean the brain is unimportant, and it does not mean damage has no consequences. What it means is that intelligence is more flexible than we admit. We often measure intelligence using speed, memory, and test performance. But adaptability rarely shows up on an exam. Resilience is not graded. Reorganization is not measured. Potential is often invisible. This man did not disprove science. He revealed its blind spots. The brain is not a machine with fixed parts. It is a system that constantly negotiates survival. And that leads to a final question that is uncomfortable for all of us. If intelligence is not about how much brain you have, how many people have been underestimated simply because we measured the wrong things? Subscribe for more mysteries.